lovelies, and welcome back to Crazy But Not Dangerous. I'm Shorty Vaughn. Today we've got the reveal. All of my projects from yesterday are finished. I have to say that all of them were a complete success. Yay, hooray, yippee skippy, can't ask for more than that. Doesn't always happen that way, but you know, you gotta celebrate when it does. But I have to tell you that I did have a major mess up yesterday. Not in the kitchen. I don't know exactly what went on with my mind. I'm gonna blame it on like menopause fog. Anyhow, Andrew, since 2020, I've been cutting his hair. He likes it. I hate to do it. I'm not good at it. I'm not skilled, but he doesn't want to go anywhere and he doesn't want to spend the money because he's almost as cheap as I am. So, yes, Shorty Vaughn, please cut my hair. Please. It's unmanageable. And I know, because I need my own haircut right now. But I've been waiting on a coupon to come in the mail. I may have to give up on that dream. Anyhow, cut my hair. I said it's too hot to go outside to cut it on the back patio. It was 105 and neither one of us could do it. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll do it for you in the laundry room. And my laundry room is long and narrow, so it is a very tight squeeze for, you know, close to the outlet where I can plug my clippers in. So we get in there, and I've got his chair all aligned, and I'm back behind him, and he's got the cape on. I have cape for him. Anyhow, I had gotten all of the things that we needed ready for the haircut. I plugged it in. Tip your head back for me, love. And then I made that first swipe, and as soon as I made it, I knew exactly what I had forgotten to put the number 2 glider, the little you know, guide, so it's not super short. Anyhow, he got a 0. Yeah, he's pretty much bald. I have to say though that he has a very good looking scalp, and so it doesn't look too terrible, but boy, it's short. And he is such a good sport. He says, this is great, I'm extra cool, yay, hooray, it'll be fine, thanks for cutting my hair. And I'm near tears. I'm like, oh my gosh, I made you bald. And it really doesn't look bad, you know, it's just shorter than I ever anticipated. Yeah, so I don't know what happened. All of my kitchen experiments and projects and stuff like that, terrific. Haircut, well, not so great, but it'll grow out. It's just hair. He'll be fine. All right, let's get down to it. Let's see what happened. Let's take a look at my dehydrated marshmallows. So I've had them going, about 12 hours in here in the dehydrator. I've had them at about 125 degrees because I thought that 90 degrees was just not cutting it. So I did turn that up. Let's go ahead and take a look in here. And what you'll find with your dehydrated marshmallows is that while the heat's still going, they will be somewhat not dehydrated. They will be somewhat sticky, somewhat pliable. Go ahead and take a few off and just set those out to cool, and they will immediately harden up to their full dehydrated state. See, as you're applying the heat to these, because they're sugar, basically just puffed sugar for the most part, as the heat is applied to them, they will still seem somewhat pliable. As the heat is removed and they cool, they will actually solidify more. So we've just taken these off. I'm just going to let them set for a few minutes and then go ahead and check to see how dehydrated they really are. Sometimes when you're dehydrating something, you're thinking, boy, that's been on there a long time. Well, think about the sugar content of that item. You know, is the sugars getting heated up? Are they still pliable because the heat is still in them? It's okay to take a few off. Let them come to room temperature. Even to put them in the refrigerator to help it on along and see really how dehydrated they are. So even after just these few seconds, I'm not really able to separate it any longer. And they have pretty good crunch. So gonna give these a few more minutes, then we'll give them the real test. Make sure that they're good and dry before we offset them. Dehydrated marshmallows, delicious. What am I gonna do with them? Well, I'm gonna put them in a jar, and you can have them as a snack. You could add them to hot cocoa. You could add them to a Watergate salad. You could put them into a boring cereal and then make that boring cereal, ultra delicious for just a few pennies. So, you could buy like a box of Cheerios for $1.25 at the dollar store or something like that. Because Cheerios. They're no fun. They're not sugary. They're not delicious. Yeah, add just a few sprinkles of these to your Cheerios. Now they are fun and delicious. That's what I'm going to do with Andrew. Get him a little Cheerios in there. Get him a little fun little bite. But I might only put 4 or 5 of these mini marshmallows in there compared to a whole box of cereal that might have a lot of them. Reduce your caloric intake a little bit. I'm okay with that. All right, these are pretty much cooled now. Let's go ahead and see what we've got. Oh well, dry and crunchy. These are all set. Gonna get my jar. These would also be really great as an ice cream topping. Yeah, or in a trail mix, or whatever you can think of. I think they're super fun. So I've got one jar here, and I'm going to throw an oxygen absorber in here to keep them dry, because I don't want them to rehydrate with the humidity levels that we might be getting since we're entering our monsoon season. These I'm just popping into a bag for immediate consumption. They probably won't last 2 days. Yeah, no, Andrew will gobble these up in no time flat, and that's just fine with me. Really, you can eat a lot of marshmallows without consuming a whole ton of calories. And just, sometimes that one little delicious bite is all you need to get you through the day. Yeah, absolutely. I like a little delicious bite after I go check the mail. Need something to just kind of lift my spirits up a little bit. Sometimes what I like to do is send a little something in the mail to a friend. Just so that they're getting something in the mail that's not a bill, not so, overwhelming. So yeah, if you've got an extra stamp laying around, you're thinking about someone, just a couple of sentences. Go ahead and stuff that in an envelope, put it out in your box, let that mailman take it away, and brighten somebody's day 2 or 3, 4, 5 days later, however long it takes to get to them. All right, got a little bag for now, got a little sun for later. Yay, hooray! Okay, so about 10.5 hours later, here we go, all done. Our veg looks terrific with our onions, cabbage, and peppers, and then our pork picnic shoulder, all tasty and delicious, and it is just about falling apart. Can't ask for much more than that. Happy Father's Day. So last night, the pork roast came off of the grill, and I went ahead and sliced us off some for dinner. Served that with mashed potatoes and green beans. It was amazing. And then I left it on the counter to cool so that it was easy to handle. And then I just sliced off the remainders all around that big bone that was in that roast. And this is what I got. So I got 3 1-pound bags of the shredded pork. And so I have gone ahead and written on them with a Sharpie marker what I'm planning to use them for. So this one is for sandwiches. And this one is for pulled pork baked potatoes. Just baked potato. Heat this up in the microwave. maybe add a little sauce, maybe a little chimichurri sauce, maybe a little green chili sauce, maybe just some barbecue sauce. Stuff my baked potatoes with that, maybe some broccoli, maybe some cheese, all the good things. This one is going to be for pork tacos. And then I ended up with two 2-pound bags of the pulled pork. This one I'm going to use for buffalo pork enchiladas. And this one just simply for sandwiches for when I have more than just Andrew and I to feed. Or if I'm wanting to go ahead and make those sandwiches for dinner and then also leftovers for the next day's lunch. Those are both fantastic. What I also ended up with is this enormous bone from my roast. And I left plenty of meat on this because this is going to make another meal. This is going to make a pork and bean meal. And I'm going to go ahead and get that going over in my instant pressure cooker. Going to put these all the way in the freezer so that they are safe and sound. I did not use cryovac these because I'm planning on using these within the next 2 weeks in various different ways. So even though it is the same meat, it's not going to be overwhelming. You're not going to get inundated with, pork burnout because it's going to be, enchiladas. It's going to be tacos. It's going to be sandwiches. It's going to be the baked potato. So one meat used in multiple ways to get a lot of meals. Like I said, a 7.5-pound roast is a lot for 2 people. Even though we can get down to it, we can eat some roast. Cook once, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 more meals, 8 including what we ate last night, and that's just a good deal. If you can find meat at less than $1 a pound, how can you go wrong? Now, don't buy meat that you don't like. If you don't enjoy pork, do not buy yourself a pork roast. But if you see boneless, skinless chicken breasts go on sale, like I did a few weeks ago, at less than $1.50 per pound, that's the time to load up. Go ahead. Make it all in your crock pot. And then, shred it up. Think about how you're going to use that throughout the month. Will you have tacos? Will you have burritos? Will you have chicken pot pie? Yeah, the possibilities are endless. Don't be afraid of the big meat. I guess that would be the whole point of this segment. Yeah, it was a lot. It was overwhelming. It took a long time. Yeah, it was still worth it because I won't have to cook at least 7 more meals. I'll just have to assemble the ingredients. And that's a good thing. That's more time for me to spend on YouTube watching my friends or, reading or taking a nap. Couldn't we all just use a little nap? All right, let's get down to it. Let's make some beans. I wanted to bring you over here, though, to my really full freezer. And I do like to keep my chest freezers full for a couple of reasons. Because we're entering our monsoon season here in Arizona, so we will have very unpredictable weather. Power outages are entirely possible. And what I like to do is kind of layer my freezers so that they are as full as possible. But I layer them with this bottled water. I buy this really cheap. I don't know, it's a couple of bucks over at the Albertsons. We don't drink bottled water on a daily basis, but I do layer my freezers with this in the event of a power outage. This could possibly give me a couple of more days. In the event of a power outage and low pressure from our community well, if I'm not able to get water to the house, these will thaw very rapidly and give us a decent water supply. So hopefully it will make my freezer extra cold in the event of a power outage, get a couple of extra days out so I don't lose so much product. I like the frozen bottled water. Sometimes I take one with me when I go, and then, I put it behind me in the car seat so that I stay cool, extra cool while I'm driving. Because when I get into the car, many times it is over 150 degrees inside, and it takes, 5-10 minutes for the car to really cool off. So this can help keep me from overheating while I'm waiting for the car to cool off. Also, if my car breaks down, I'm going to need this water because I'm going to have to hoof it, or wait for the tow truck to come get me. So you might need a little extra water. So just a little tidbit. Gonna put my pork right on in there. Okay, my lovelies, let's go ahead and make some beans. Now, my mother was from Tennessee, and she would call this soup beans. She would typically make pintos. Today, I am making navy beans. So I washed them. I soaked them overnight. I've got about a pound here or 2 cups, and they have plumped up so nicely. I think they look delicious. They're going to be fantastic. I am going to cook these in my instant pressure cooker, so I am going to go ahead and add those in. And then I've got my big old pork bone, and I left plenty of meat on this because I like some meat with my beans. And you could follow this same recipe with any kind of bean. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I left it really meaty. And I'm not mad at that at all. I'll just go ahead and put that right on in there. And then I also have, about 12 ounces of a chicken stock that I made a couple of days ago. Gonna pour that all right in there. And then I have about another 12 ounces. And this is the braising liquid that I used to cook that pork roast with yesterday, and I am going to go ahead and reuse it to season my beans because I hate waste, because it's got a little fat, and that is going to add a great unctuousness to your beans. And yeah, if you didn't have this, if you were just going to make beans, then I would definitely add a tablespoon or 2 of an oil, whatever you got. Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get this braising liquid in there, including the fat. I'm just going to break it all up and let it get all in there. I like my beans to be a little bit soupy. My mother called them soup beans. What do we have for dinner? Soup beans and cornbread. Slice of onion. Okay, sounds good. So, I don't make beans very often, but I do love them. So there we go. That's what we've got so far. Yay, hooray. So about 24 ounces of liquid, 1 pound of beans. That should be plenty. I've got a little bit of mirepoix powder. Mirepoix is carrots, celery, and onion. And when I have excess, I dehydrate the carrot, celery, and onion, blast it up in my spice grinder, and then fill up this jar. And then anytime I want to make something that needs, a little bit of vegetable seasoning, I've got it all right here. Got my 1 tablespoon measure, and I'm going to put in about a tablespoon of that mirepoix powder. And I am going to go ahead and add about 1/2 tablespoon of the Worcestershire. And that is kind of going to be my umami, well, sugar and spice. Come on. Guess I need a new one. Well, it's almost 1/2 tablespoon. It'll be fine. If it needs salt at the end, after cooking in the instant pressure cooker, then I'll go ahead and just give it a few turns on the grinder here. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. There we go. Looks terrific. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and get it in. Okay, down periscope, locked into place, setting it to airtight. 27 minutes. You don't have to soak your beans overnight for the instant pot, instant pressure cooker, whatever you got. you can go ahead and cook those directly from the package, from dry. But I'll tell you what, I have found that if I soak my beans overnight and then I make my beans, my soup beans or what have you, that soaking them and rinsing them reduces some of those undigestible sugars that beans have and reduces, the backdoor hound dogs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think it's a good idea to soak your beans and rinse them and what have you. But you do you, baby. Do what you want. So after 27 minutes, we have come out of the instant pressure cooker and my pot's still hot, but my bean soup looks delicious, smells amazing, and I'm hungry. Let's grab a little bowl and dish some up. I already took out my bone, and most of the meat has fallen away. I've got just a little bit of the fatty parts that I picked out, and we have gotten a lot of great flavor out of that bone. We have used it for all it's worth, and we've got every bite of meat in here. So this is going to be my pork and bean soup dinner tonight. My beans are all nice and soft and tender, all steamy. Got some great little pork bites in there. Gonna serve this with a big slice of a sweet yellow onion. This is terrific. Now, if you didn't have a big bone, you could use a couple of pork chops or some ham or a ham hock or just some bacon slices. It's your pork and beans. Do with it what you want. Absolutely. I need a spoon. We've got to see if it needs a little bit more salt, and that can happen sometimes. So let's go ahead and give it a taste here. I don't want to burn my face off. Oh, that's delicious. That little bit of fat from the braising liquid, delicious. Now you're thinking you had some apple juice in there. Yeah, no, you don't really taste that. It just melded right in, and so did that beer. And that just has both great flavor, a great mouthfeel. Those beans, tender and delicious. And the broth, just rich and so flavorful. I'd love to talk, love to chat, but I gotta go eat some pork and beans for dinner. All right, my lovelies, be good, be careful, look both ways. I'll see you next time. Yeah, pork and beans, not out of a can, not cold, hot and from the instant pressure cooker. Yay, hooray. Don't got an instant pressure cooker, make it in your slow cooker. Save the electricity, don't heat up your house. Have a great day. Bye.